you, thank you. My name is Mark Wallace. I'll be your host. I'll be your moderator as well for the night.
People share the
Very good.
Share it.
Share it.
All share it. My page, anybody.
Share it. Share, Sunny, everyone. Yes.
Share. That's how it reaches.
That's how it reaches the masses. ESPN. See that?
It's that kind of line.
So let's kick things off and let's just have these ladies introduce themselves. Give a little background because I know you all have probably a very extensive background, but just something really quick about who you guys are and what got you into the industry as well too. Yeah. So let's start from Nikki. Go down the line. Yeah.
Oh, good. What you wanted again? Sorry.
Just a background on yourself.
Yeah. A small one.
Small one.
Okay. Name as well too, even though people
St. James.
already know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Nikki Crosby. If you don't know me out there in Facebook land, and most Trinbagonians know me, unfortunately. They've been trying to disown me. Things we're trying to forget you where's going on. Okay, so I was the first stand-up comedian in the Caribbean. Female.
Boom,
Sorry.
boom.
Female. Comedy kind of took me around the world to perform and represent Trinidad and Tobago, but my first love was always acting. And I kind of got into acting, then did stand-up and a little of both, and I still do a little of both. That is my life. So that's a little bit about me. Penelope Spencer, my partner in crime.
Well, I am Penelope Spencer. Most people call me Penny, and that's what a P-E-N-N-I-E. I am Todd Gulick from Minshall. Kalu Company gave me that spelling, so I always kept it. Anyway, so I'm originally from San Fernando. Yay! Yes, I'm in a Paula in the house.
Paula.
Yeah, I am originally from San Fernando, and I came to Port of Spain. I started my career as a dancer in San Fernando with Arawaks, and I came to Port of Spain for an audition, and I kind of stayed. After I got the part, I ended up here. Nikki, myself, and Myron Ali, our deceased friend, formed a company called Ha 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 Productions, and
first female production company in
Trinidad. All female, yeah, because Bagas had Christian, but it was all female. Anyway, so we and then I got into Necessary Arts, which is a theater school kind of production company, and I work with Naima Thompson and Lydia Ledgerwood, and we formed Necessary Arts, and from that I have been doing acting and directing and writing. I love writing, and I also do casting. I've done casting for a lot of films here in Trinidad and international films, Bazadi and a whole lot of others, and and that's about me. I have one son. And I love him.
We love you, Penny.
Okay, and I'm a glamour.
Oh?
Not a grammar, a glamour.
Oh, sorry, she's a glamour.
Simmy.
Well, my name is Ria Simone Auguste, but I started doing a lot of stand-up bits on social media under the name Simmy, and it stuck. It's something that I got into after 7 years of journalism, and after journalism I went into corporate communications, and when my contract ended, I was, like a lot of people, looking for work in Trinidad, couldn't find any. Prostitution was an option, but too many looking just like me. The competition was rough. So I started to look at what my saleable skills were and what my best marketable assets were, and comedy or just stage performance was one of them. I've always been involved from a child in San Fernando Arts Festival, from Calypso competitions, growing up and going through the system, and I stayed away from it for almost a decade while I was pregnant. Not for the whole decade, I wasn't. That was not a 10-year pregnancy. I'm just putting that out there. But motherhood and everything, and working at the Ministry of Energy took me out of performance. And then I just started back last year with a lot of encouragement from people around me. And it's just taken on a life of its own. I decided to push, not just for myself, because I noticed that stand-up comedy has been almost like a very narrow band in the last decade or so for Trinidadians, whereas for the rest of the world, we see the Dave Chappelles and the Kevin Harts making such a huge dent internationally. And we have such funny people that I said it is not necessary for me to run on my own strength alone, but to help my friends and my peers to work our bits, work our material on stages. So I developed a platform called the Hold Your Mic series, challenge series. And after a year, the Hold Your Mic challenge series has now officially been picked up by TV6. Yeah. So that's going to be coming up shortly. And then I started another platform because the Hold Your Mic is really just for people to test their stand-up comedy and to get in the groove. But now we have a lot of performers who have longer sets. So then I started another series at Woodford Cafe called Kixie at Woodford Cafe. And it's a once monthly series that highlights a performer who I think has reached at least, we reached here, but we reached to a point where we could be like, at least display our talent to a wider community and maybe make some income off of it. Because a lot of the people who are involved in the industry are just like myself, either unemployed, underemployed, or seeking employment away from prostitution. So that's as much as I can say about me. I have 2 sons. I love them most days of the week. And that's about it. Yeah.
All right, nice. That's a good story. I love that story. I love that whole journey from where you were to where you are now. You know, that's amazing.
You don't like our stories.
I mean, because we know your stories. That's the whole thing, you know.
Oh, he know the stories.
I mean, a few stories. Okay, let me go to my cards here.
Go to your cards, man.
Right. So, what we're trying to achieve here basically tonight is just to talk about challenges and issues and whatnot in the field, in the industry that we are speaking about tonight, which is the acting, which is the film and everything and whatnot. So what I would like to know, and what everyone here would like to know as well too, is what were some of the challenges that you guys faced on your journey to where you are now? I mean, it could be from when you guys first started, or it could be from yesterday.
I will kick it off because, as I'd mentioned, I was the first female stand-up comedian in Caribbean, and that alone had its challenges. When I came into it, people were like, who is this girl? You know, it was such a male-dominated arena. It was the Tommy Josephs and the Sprang-Alangs and the John Agitation, Errol Fabian. Those were the people that, when they were, you know, roaming the world doing stand-up comedy for Trinidad. So when I got into it, it was definitely male-oriented. I had a lot of fighting to do. I mean, I always tell people like Donna, Haddad, Risha Price, Simmy now, in terms of stand-up comedians, especially females, that I went through a lot, and it might be underestimated how much I went through as a first female doing anything. Something as simple as a dressing room. You know, they had to deal with the fellas all the time. Nobody can come in to put on makeup, and they need light. So I would get there and be that dark tent. And I'd be like, you know, I need to change. And so that took a little while. Some of them still didn't even get it right? In terms of money, I had to battle for that. There was this one promoter, I sent back a check because I remember when I'd first come out, it was so different, a woman telling her story. And, you know, I would destroy stadiums and mash up and then get little or next to nothing. And the boys getting plenty money. So once I stood up and I sent back a check because it's like, you need it more than me. So it was those kind of issues I had to deal with a woman. When Penny, Myron, and I started Ha 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 Productions, it was because it was a very male theater, again, very male-dominated. The Richard Raghubar Singh, Raymond Chukong, those are the kind of names you were hearing producing. And they dealt with comedy, etc., but they weren't really dealing with issues that we thought as women they needed to deal with. And that is why it was so important for us to be like the first female. It was not that we had so many issues we had to deal with, but sometimes comedy, and so sometimes you need to see it through a woman's eyes sometimes, and that's kind of how we establish. So for me, it was a lot of pioneering and showing them how to do it and fighting for your rights as a woman. And don't talk about promoters who feel they have to sleep with you or even touch you just because you're on the show. Those are the kind of underlying things with entertainment. I think it's straight across the board everywhere in the world. People always want to sleep with a woman. I don't know why. But, so those are the kind of things I had to deal with in terms of first coming into this as a woman in my times.
Well, for me, I am originally from San Fernando, and when I got to, I used to dance with this company called Arawak's Dance Company, and they sent me for an audition in Port of Spain. And I got the audition, I got the part, and the challenge for me was getting from South to Port of Spain as a young person, because I was a young single mother, and I didn't have a steady job, and I had to get transport to and fro because I wanted to come to my rehearsals. I wanted to go to an audition. I had to get money from South, and there was a time I used to stand on the highway and mop drop. We used to call it mop drop long time. You just stand up, and I don't know if it's what you call it
Hi,
now.
Michael, one of our greatest actors in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes,
Michael Sherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you, Michael.
Yeah.
Yes. We're honored that you just come to hear us talk. You could have called me.
Living down the road. Yes, so that was one of my challenges. I would mop drop, and I would never let anybody do that now because it was so unsafe. I mean, when I think about the chances I took, you don't know how many times I got to Port of Spain by just standing on the highway in South trying to get a lift to Port of Spain. And I would have $10 alone to come back, you know, and that money had to take me back to South because I couldn't mop drop in the night. So that was a challenge to me. I remember Christine Johnson, I got to play with Baggers to do, and Christine was one of the producers in those days. And she was one of the only one producer ever paid me transport, gave me money for a podium to come back and forth to Port of Spain. And then I got into the National Theatre Company, and they too fought for me, Tony Hall and all of them, to get transport to come to Port of Spain to do my thing, because I tell you, if I didn't have those people supporting me and that kind of positive energy, I doubt I would be here, because it was real. I was a single mother from a single mother. I mean, and everybody's stretching and trying to make ends meet, you know, and I don't want to say, am I going to act? Like, you know, it's like, what hobby you doing? Go and do a proper job, you know, go and do an 8 to 4. So that was, I mean, this business, I've lost friends. There's one thing about this business, you lose friends, because people don't understand. Real friends stay with you, but friends don't understand. I have a rehearsal, I can't lie. I have a rehearsal, I can't lie. So, I mean, I had lost a whole lot of friends for this business. So
when I play, my husband has called him a theater widow, because he don't see me, you know, he is a theater widow, and that's kind of part of the cool package.
Yeah. So those were some of my challenges I had. See me? Some.
Well, thus far, I'm a little disappointed that none of the promoters have tried to sleep with me. I don't know where I'm going wrong in this whole scenario, but...
I'll give you some names.
yeah. But the thing about it is, I think that the comedy landscape is changing globally. And it has changed a lot from where we are, what we are accustomed to in the Caribbean, which is a lot of... I don't want this to sound bad, and I'm not knocking the people who do it. I love stand-up comedy, but it is different from what is sold as comedy in the Caribbean, which is sometimes men dressed in drag or midgets whining on obese people, and that has its place. I'm not saying it doesn't have its fan base. However, what we are doing is an American style of stand-up comedy, and trying to get that art form going in Trinidad means that I'm trying my best to convert people from that audience to come out and see people talk. And some of the people are thinking, well, oh gosh, I don't want to come and hear people busting on stage telling stale jokes. They can go to a bar in the corner and talk some picong, and you know, that's just as entertaining to them. Why should they spend their money on this entertainment product? So for me, from a business standpoint, because I look at it from a business standpoint as well, it's really that conversion of the audience mentality from what we were accustomed to what is now being, what is a lucrative market globally. What I see long term for us in terms of the talent that I'm seeing coming out of the shows that I'm working with is we may very well have among us the next Kevin Hart or Dave Chappelle. We have, off the top of my head, I can call Kevin Sawyer. He's hilarious. He's a really talented comedian. We have some of them in the audience right now. And it is marketing these people in the right way and marketing them in a way that the global audience, the American audience, because Netflix spends a lot on international stand-up comedy acts. They've taken from everywhere in the world except for in the Caribbean. Why is that? Why is it that everywhere in the world, Netflix is picking comedians, but they're not picking from our diaspora? And I look at it from the point of view that we're not ready yet. So the other challenge is getting us ready, getting our people ready, not just to talk about, and again, not knocking the people who do it, because I do it on social media all the time, rum and roti comedy, which we all laugh at, the rum and roti jokes, which may not necessarily translate to an international audience. So again, getting our local stand-up comedians, myself included, because I'm a baby in the business by global standards. I've been in it for about a year. But getting all of us ready for an international type stage with our content. So the comedians who work with me know I push them. I push them to write more. I push them to look, we have a chat group. I push them to look at different topics. I push them to listen to different styles. And it's a dual thing. So it's converting our local audience to come out and support our guys, and also getting our guys ready, and gals. I want some more females, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, we really do have a shortage, but...
I mean, Simmy, you're the first one since Rachel Price, so there's a big gap there.
There's a huge gap, and I'm always being compared to Rachel Price, and
Yeah, you look alike.
Yeah, twinning all day long. And the thing about it is I have a lot of respect for all of you, for Rachel. I send Rachel like a Bible-linked message via Facebook. Rachel, I'll respect your work, I'll love what you're doing. And I got a K.
You ever got one of those?
No, I got a K. I got a potassium response, K. I was like, all right.
You send your letter to the wrong comedian.
Disappointment.
That's all I got to say about that. Because I would have tell you, hey girl, I send you back a letter. You get a letter from she? Me get no letter. I Facebook.
No, we do stay. And there's no disrespect meant with it. I think, you know, at the end of the day, everybody is doing what they have to do. And my approach to it is just a little bit different in that I know I'm one of the few females in my generation that's standing up and doing stand-up comedy, but I'm also looking at it from, why can't we have the female promoters? So I've switched gears now. I'm performing, I'm also promoting events, I'm hosting events, and I'm managing some of the comedians as well.
No, I like hearing that, because I like that it's an all-female panel we have here as well too, you know, because it gives a different perspective as well too than what we are more or less used to as well, you know. So as we spoke about the challenges as well, I know there are also a few misconceptions that people may get about what you guys are doing as well. So how can we battle those misconceptions on what, like how you touched on the, you have to sleep with a promoter, or all these different things with Netflix as well too, not coming into to tackle the Caribbean. What are the different ways that we can combat that to communicate more effectively on what we're trying to achieve?
Well, Simmy talked about getting ready for Netflix, right? Or the American market. That's something I've been doing for the last, I think, 15 years. Because I had the same vision of we need to be on that platform. The world needs to see Trinidad and Tobago. Agreed. And about 10 years ago, I went to LA. I had an agent out there. a little more than that. And I went out there for maybe about 4 months, I think. It was pilot season. You know what pilot season is. Basically, this is where they're looking for actors for all their new little shows. It's usually happen around March. And so I've been there. I've actually walked in the offices, had a meeting with the vice president of sitcoms for NBC. It was an experience just to be there, to get a meeting with these people. I think I was there just before the world exploded and they were ready to accept all these different things. Right now we're working on a project, and I double check with Ethan and we can share it, because we are getting ready for Netflix. We have so much talent just in Trinidad and Tobago, and I was saying earlier that in terms of accents, we're probably the one that could make it, Trinidad and Tobago, because when you look internationally, you put a Jamaican out there, most people. I just did a show in LA, Miami, stand-up. Major Hype, Chris Daly, all Jamaicans, another guy from Jamaica, Gunther, and Nikki Crosby. And most people are telling me they couldn't understand the rest of the comedians, they only understood me. And that, for me, is an advantage. We have the gab, we have the gift of this accent. They love the Trini accent outside, and it's understandable. So what we're working on right now, we, including Penny, all of us as actors, have been waiting for Hollywood to knock our door and say, hi, Nikki, oh God, we want you. We've totally changed that concept now. We are going to Netflix. We're working right now on a sitcom for Granny that will bridge the Caribbean and the US. It's going to be a sitcom based in the US, written for the American audience through the kind of Caribbean color, as Chris called it. The concept we have too is that we will also be, grannies always have little flashbacks to the Caribbean. So you will always see a little part of Trinidad. The Trinidadian actors will get a little work. So that's where our head is. We can't sit down as entertainers and wait for the world to find us. We have to find creative ways to go out there. Because like, typical example, Michael Sherry should be in, everybody should know his name. He's one of the best actors out of Trinidad and Tobago. And it's sad that many people in Trinidad and Tobago don't know his name. So we as entertainers, and the world has gotten very small now because of internet and Facebook and all these things, and it's up to us as entertainers, producers, etc., to take advantage of it. It's a whole different marketing now than when I first started. I don't even think I would get into comedy now if it was now, because the competition is so different. You really have to stand out. You really have to have something different about you, because everybody now, it kind of got watered down to a point. Let me tell you why. Because everybody now feel they're comedian. Everybody now feel they're actors just because they have a good camera phone. Yeah? And it works for some people like Simmy, Rudy. He is instant.
I don't do any videos like.
No. What I mean is social media, period. Yeah. Social media, period. It worked for that new generation. In my generation, there was no Facebook. No, I had to stand up on stage and entertain. People who had money had to pay the money and stand up, and you had to perform. But things have changed now. So there's no limitations in my eyes for any of us. Any of us. It's just a matter of understanding how to market it properly, how to use social media now, how to get, I mean, when you look at people who are on YouTube, millions of people sometimes watch an act. Millions. They haven't been signed by Netflix, but millions of viewers. So we don't need the HBO and the Netflix and so again to feel that we have reach, as we like to say. But we just have to think smarter now in terms of how can we use this tool called social media to get our talents to the world.
Some of the misconceptions that I've experienced in this business. I mean, there are a lot of people, and misconceptions could keep you back. As a person out there who want to get into the arts, and your mother or your father or your family or your village telling you, that is only a bulaman thing, boy, what are you doing? You know, the misconception that theater and the arts is a hobby. What are you doing? Where are you playing? Where are you going? Why don't you go and get serious?
Get a
These
job.
are some of the misconceptions that we have to deal with. And you know what is so sad about it? I had to deal with that when I was some years ago, older. And that is happening now because I teach children. I teach children, and you will hear children And, I mean, they all have the SB and they come to us and they ask us questions. And when you ask them questions, you know, they will always say, my mother think this is just a hobby. My father don't want this to me because he thinks this is a gay thing. And, you know, these are some of the misconceptions still keeping us back as a society to be better at this art. We have children who are the best singers and the best dancers, and they don't want to go and express their art or show off their art because some family or village keeping them back. I mean, we are not all going to be oil men or doctors or lawyers. We have a whole set of children that dying to come out, but we have a lot of parents and adults keeping them back, and because of misconceptions. Because when I started to work, and I mean, all my friends thought I would give this up sooner or later, but this is entrenched in me, and nothing nobody could say could take this away from me. So as I deal with I teach children. I mean, if Denzel's mother had said to him, boy, don't go and do that thing, what we would have had, Idris Elba, these kind of fellas. I mean, I only call in American names, you know.
My husband wanted to be a hairdresser, and my father said, you
no,
mad?
exactly.
Big man like you want to do people here? No.
Exactly. See? You know, because, you know, we burden ourselves with these kind of misconceptions. I mean, but I think children, young people, if you want something, just go for it, you know, find a way. Be creative and find a way to do what you have to do. I mean, and you don't stop yourself because you think that is a certain kind of people in that. If you're not in that, you have nothing to worry about. Because the arts industry, we're not pedophiles, we are not rapists, we are not nothing like this. So please don't let that keep you back. Don't let your parents tell you, this is a hobby. People making money. We making living off of this craft.
Not yet.
This is all
you do?
I mean, this is all.
Almost.
I do. I don't work in an office 8 to 4. I teach drama at Newton Girls. I made my hours 3 days a week. I teach drama, storytelling, and creative writing at Newton Girls. I teach at Necessary Arts. I have a month's basic acting course. I'm teaching children drama and acting and basic performance skills. I do ads, I do casting, I write. I am making a living of what I want and what I do. I don't have an 8 to 4. I have my own car, I'm still paying off it. I'm paying my rent, and I'm hoping to buy a house sooner or later. You can't make a living off of this. Stop with the nonsense about, oh, this is a hobby. We could, and I am doing it in Trinidad. And I'm sorry, my mother thought like everybody else. That's why I'm not in America. Because they didn't believe that we could make something of ourselves because of misconceptions. So that's what I have to say about that.
Agreed. Truth, hashtag truth, yes.
I definitely have to agree with what you said. Because I had a similar situation with my mom all my life. My mom came from the era where, for women, for her generation, you were either a secretary, a nurse, or you a teacher. These were the professions. But for my generation, and I had an older sister, she pushed us to make sure that we got a job by having a good education. And the goal would have been to work all the days of your life for whatever employer and get a pension, retire, and die happy. And I was never one to follow that path. So I'm not even ashamed to say it. While I said I went to every Sunfest and I went to Calypso competitions from when I was small, my mother was never in the audience for those events. She was working, she was a single parent, and I understood where she was coming from. She didn't see the value in it or think this was my hobby. This is me expressing myself, but it really wasn't what she wanted, the direction that she wanted. And she passed away last year, November, from cancer. And while in hospice, we had a lot of conversations, and one of those conversations, it came up where she said, look, you will always be different. You are not like your brother and sister. But of my 3 children, you're the most tenacious. And I'm sure you're going to fall down a few times. You're going to land on your butt. But I've seen you get up a lot. So if you want to go and sing, sing. If you want to go and act, act. You're doing stand-up comedy, like, who does that? That's my mom. She's like, who does that? Like, you could go and sell your kitten on the waterfront and make more money. And I'm like, but she in herself didn't realize that she was a comedian. My mom was hilarious. And she set the groundwork for me being a comedian and wanting to be on a stage. And having that blessing to go forward meant a lot to me because it meant after several years.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. You and I the same age. Oh my God.
I know, right?
I didn't realize that.
I just celebrated my 11th, 24th birthday. But after many, many years, and this is something I think all actors, at least locally, many, many years of hearing my mom's voice in my head saying, no, don't do that. Stay with the job. Stay in the career path. It was the first time that I stopped hearing her voice and started hearing my own and saying, no, this is what I want now. And I want to go on stage and talk about selling my kitten on the waterfront. And I want to be able to do this in a way that my family can be supported. Because we have families to take care of. So again, I agree with what you said as well. We can't wait anymore for Netflix to come to us. I still stand by what I said. When they do, if they do, we need to be ready. We need to have our products at the level of the international market. And while it is easy, and a lot of people think it is easy, for those who do those social media videos, again, and I bounce up this quite often, people do really funny videos and then come on stage and bomb. Bad. It's two different totally different things. And then you have people like me who I would go on a stage and I'm comfortable. I don't have stage fright. I love the stage. And you put a camera on me and I'm sweating like Fitzgerald Hines going back in the beatum for a second time. I just like, is this how I should pose? How should this, just to hide the belly a little bit. So, you know, everybody, you have to find your strengths. You have to find what works for you. And you have to start listening to your own voice in your head. I hear this a lot from the stand-up comedians because a lot of them come into our chats saying, you know, I'm not sure about this content. You don't ask. You have to be sure. You have to know. If it's funny, if it makes you laugh, like I know for me, if it makes me laugh, that's when I post it on Facebook. Like I would think something weird, it would make me laugh. I might do an LOL laugh, but it might be like an internal crazy person laugh. And then I'd share it. And then I'd see just the likes and the shares from it. And then I might translate that, okay, this is an idea that I can now build on for the stage. So that's where I'm at right now.
Now, on that same plane of people who are advancing, as you said, Rodi, as you said, like you and everyone who's on social media, all your students as well too, who, apart from yourselves as well too, who is making the greatest advancement right now and what are they doing? It could be one of your students right now that's seeing the most promise. It could be somebody like Rodi or even you yourself, Simmy. What are the advancements that you or who do you see making the greatest ones right now and how are they doing it?
For me, it's, I guess, Rudy. If you're looking at numbers and figures and stuff, he was born on the Instagram, you know, and from it, he is like close to 200,000 followers. That's a lot for Trinidad market. And Penny and I saw, because he's so talented. And again, his career was born literally on a toilet. He used to sit down there on the thing and he started to make videos. He wasn't thinking of this long career. He just had a lot to get off his chest and that's kind of how he started. And he's put a lot of work into it. Penny and I saw the talent in him and wanted to bring him to stage. We were the first ones to kind of bring him to stage in theater. And Penny directed it. It took a little while because obviously doing a video is totally different to theater. And it's almost like he did a crash course because to get to where he got in terms of in one of our productions. He would have had to work backstage. He would have probably have to do a little course with Penny. He probably would have had to learn it before we actually threw him on stage. And we just threw him on stage because he was so talented. But we had to work with him. We had to mold him because, as you said, it's two separate entities from camera, and which is a whole new different thing now, to actually being on stage. I mean, something as simple as turning your back. That's the first thing you don't do in theater, turn your back to the audience, and simple things like that. We had to fine tune him. So for me, and I see him going further. I really see somebody like Rudy and that generation going further. I was very excited about Simmy because, as I said, behind me, there was no such a woman doing this. You know, you could think about Rudy and so many of the little fellas on Instagram and stuff. So I was very excited to see Simmy, and I'm hoping that more females come to the forefront because, as I said, it's such a male-dominated kind of industry, but it's good to see that the females are now finding their way. So for me, it's Rudy that I can think of.
I totally agree with Rudy, and he's like really one of my best examples. I felt so very proud of him when he did Ridiculous 6. And we worked his characters within the play, so he had about 4 or 5 different characters, so he felt comfortable in that. Some of the young people I see in theater that are making their way is well, of course, Chris Smith. We have people like Kern Samuel, we have Bradley Jackson,
who is outside right now doing some other stuff.
We have Bradley, Logan. We have, he's young, he's now coming, and a lot of them from Nessariats.
We have Saul here.
We have Saul, who's
is a
also
new
from
actor.
Nessariats, Tristan Wallace, another Nessariat. So we have a lot of young people coming up. But here what my thing is, and why there's a real gap. Because there was a time everybody used to say, we only see the same faces on the stage, because a lot of young people don't understand the discipline of theater. So that is why we find...
Yeah. Very true, very true.
We find a gap. Now we have the Chris and all of them coming up, and Kern and them, and Saul and them understanding, the discipline of theater. But there was a real gap because we'd have actors coming one day to rehearsal and they can't come. And then I remember long ago when we did a play with Godfrey Seeley, an actor, he did the opening night and the next night he wasn't there at all.
Madness.
He just show up, he didn't show up.
Madness.
Because he had to fix a fridge.
Yes.
Wow.
And he got vexed, and we had to pull out Larry Joseph, who was in the audience, to do the part and stage. Thank God the character was a bookman. So Larry had the script in the book, and this actor, he didn't understand the discipline and the focus that they have in theater. You can't go and fix a fridge and then get vexed. Then get vexed because he was fired. A lot of actors now think TV is it. They get a commercial and they reach, and so there's a huge brain drain where a lot of our talented people left this country. We have a lot of talented people in America and Canada and London, they just left because they had enough. Because we had a serious brain drain at one time, and Best Village, I thank Best Village, a lot of our wonderful choreographers and our artistic directors left. So we want more people to come into the industry. We want young people, but understand, you see a little thing on TV is not easy. It's not easy, there's work to be done. So, I think that's what I have to say on that. Yes.
I agree and disagree, and I'll tell you why. Agree that, it is a lot of hard work regardless. And I love Rudy. I really do. I have sent him several midnight voice notes that sound like, Rudy.
Rudy, if you're watching.
Rudy know the scene. But the thing about it is, this is my take. Again, how the dynamic of social media works. You can go from virtually nobody to millions, billions of views. So while Rudy might have that 200,000 followers from a lot of hard work and a lot of work he puts into it, I try to encourage everybody to find that voice that you have. If you want to put it on social media, that's you. If you prefer to put it on a stage, that's you. Find it, develop it, nurture it, put it out there. But like Opa Gangnam Style, Psy, he's crossed something like 60 billion views, and this is coming out of nowhere. A comedian, Michael Dapper, and a lot of y'all will know him as Big Shaq. The thing goes skra. He was a, yeah, right, you know? I never heard of him before the thing go skra. Never heard of the man before. And that music video made me aware of who he was and made him viral and global. The thing went international type of artist. So while I understand, and I think it is a lot of hard work, I also think that Rhodey being talented is one aspect of it. Any of us in this room here, once you're willing to harness it, let those ideas flow, don't be hampered by your own creativity, stop second guessing yourself, and just let the creativity flow.
Why is the party don't agree about that?
Well, no, that is really just that it's not just Rhodey, like, because he asked
no, of course not.
which of the artists we think, and I think it could be, is not just one or two, but it could be anybody.
Of course.
Because the way social media is.
That's how it is, yeah.
What's exceptional about Rudy, and I always have to put him, separate him from that, because we put that stage. Sorry, that yeah.
You have a loud voice though. I like that though. Yeah.
Are you
really
know how to
mic,
use a mic?
I'll forget.
You know how to use mic.
I'll forget. Right. No, but the thing about Rudy and like Certified Samson too, another young thing, they didn't want to stay in that realm. They wanted to come on stage and be understanding stage dynamics. And I really respect them for that because they understood it and they came into it. Now, the audience that they have on social media didn't come to the show. Because we will be still running that show all now. You know, so it didn't cross over.
That translation.
That didn't cross over. But I could say to any director who come in now, any of those social media fellas who could go on a stage, I would say Rudy first. Because he could go on a stage, he could do, we have done a series, a TV series too that we're trying to sell as well. And he's excellent at that. And that,
he cute too.
that crossover is great. Because I think we have to have a triple threat in this country. Actors cannot be actors alone. No. I'm talking about when Disney come to audition, they don't want to see a video.
You have to be a politician
They want
too.
they want to see everything. And when that triple threat, that actor J-Lo is a perfect example of triple threat. She could act, she could dance, she could sing. You know, and and I think when fellas do that and they come in, I'm talking about fellas, woman, man, everybody, yeah. You know, that is the rising stars we're looking for. And yeah, so I agree with all of those people. I'm sure they're funny.
One thing I want to say, and I'm glad that you touched on it, that's something I talk to the comedians that I work with right now all the time.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear you have 500,000 followers and you cannot mobilize your followers to buy one ticket.
Exactly.
You have to be able to use that following in a way that it's making sense for you, because it takes money sometimes to put out the content. And you know, what we get in our generation, I don't know if you got it, but we get it a lot. All they're all begging people for money. All they're begging. Why all they're begging?
You ever get that? I never get
No, there's a lot of people, like Jamel, the entertainer, gets a lot of flack for asking for donations on his stuff.
Yeah, what I used to do, let me tell you about that begging thing. Don't ever call it begging.
No, it's not.
When I had to travel to South sometimes.
So after I leave in here,
I had to do what you had to do.
Yeah, you understand? No, but it's not that. It's that, you know, when we ask, not just for donations, but for you to buy a ticket or to come out to support the artist that it's very easy for people to come on social media. Oh, wow, that was a lovely video. Like,
you know what I think?
And then just don't come to the show.
It's a Trini thing.
Yeah, it is.
It's sad, but we think entertainment is cheap in this country. you know, we do plays all the time and everybody wants a free ticket. Yeah. Nobody, you just want to pay the little $200 and sit down because there's a lot of work that went into that production. Right?
Yet they will go Broadway and spend the $200 US
exactly.
and sit down and
so I think it's not just that, it's just once they know they could get complimentary, it's a bad...
But how do we stop that?
It's a culture thing.
Because
we have to change the culture.
We really do.
That's actually the next topic that I wanted to touch on too as well.
Hey, you hear? I forget you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I could step off if you always want to take it away. But that's exactly what I want to talk on, because I'm sure everybody here and everybody watching are up-and-coming actors or actresses or comedians and whatnot. So what what I want to speak about or find out from you guys is how can we advance forward now and in the industry basically and bring it to the level that what needs to be recognized as well, you know?
You can start by buying tickets. Christians
For one, everybody out there in the crowd.
And Kixie are just saying, right, out there one time.
When you look at, like, of course, we just use the US as example, right? You know, actors are the most respected in the US market and best paid. Actors. Here, no. You know what I mean? So it's definitely, it's a culture change. And I think it's Simmy and those guys, that generation, we need to change because we still have this, oh God, give me a ticket. People has asked me, hey, Nikki, I want a ticket. For what? What you having? They don't even know what you have. They just want a ticket. Yeah. And so it's a serious culture change we have to do. And I'm kind of hoping the next generation maybe could appreciate the kind of work and you know, talent that goes into the kind of productions we do. I mean, we keep talking about theater because that's what Penny and I produce. You know, when you're talking the business point of view, that's what we produce. And we've seen, we as a country don't take entertainment seriously. We take entertainment in this country is soca, that's it. And mash up the place and it's a big star. But there's so much more to, I mean, we have such a talented pool of people in this country, right across the board, every single thing. So I think we definitely have to have a culture change somewhere because the gimme attitude we have in this country is killing us. Yeah. It's killing us. And one more thing, Pen. Another thing is I think the government. Don't get me started on the government.
Yeah, we could stay a whole night, a whole week. I
think they have to be a little more proactive in terms of entertainers and talent. And we're losing a lot of young people. A lot of young people, as Penny said, not even going down that road where they want to go because they're hustling. And I think if we got more where they would realize how important our culture is, what we do, and really put money into it with the youths, etc. I think they have a lot to do with it, but that's just me.
There's a huge divide between their understanding of the human resource and capital that we have and what they want to see developed. Because I listen to all of the different, and I'm not a political person in any form or fashion, let me just say one time, but I've listened to a lot of politicians over the years coming and making a whole bunch of promises, and what they want to see happen for us, they don't seem to want to put the effort in to lay that solid foundation for the talent to be exported in the right ways and for our talent to be shaped in the right directions. And this is in no means disrespectful. You can build the fanciest buildings in the world and still have your artists can't get a work. Plenty people with theater degrees cannot get employment. And when we go to the self-employed route of, well, I'm going to be an actor or I'm going to be a musician, we run into the same circle of, well, I'm going to put on a show. Can somebody buy a ticket for my show? Why are you begging or give me free? So we are trapped. That's how I feel at this time. A lot of artists are trapped. They're getting some headway now. We have the places like Kaiso Blues. Carla's been phenomenal in letting artists, in letting artists have that moment where they can actually start somewhere, some exposure. That's where I started. And I went to Carl. I said, I want to do stand-up comedy. He said, tell me a joke. I said, all right. Well, so this might come as a surprise to you, but I'm a little overweight. I said, oh, all right, yeah, get through. But he was one of the most supportive people that I've
Because
ever
he's an artist, he
come across.
understands it.
He understood
You
it.
know, you understand it, and if you don't
And-
have that understanding, then we lost.
And I've been coming across this now where, from my point of view, I literally do have to beg, borrow, thief, push, quarrel to get venues on board, because a lot of venues, and I was shocked that Woodford Cafe was so accommodating to me when I came to them and I made the proposal and the pitch and I said, this is what I want to do. So again, we need not just government, private sector.
Talking about the private sector, we have
Help
something in
too.
this country which many of them don't use, which is if they give to you, they get it back in taxes. I think maybe more, whatever, but it works out great for them. And I just think it's laziness, really freaking laziness, that they don't want to put back. It's costing them nothing. It's just your accountant have to do a little extra work. And there is no reason that these big companies cannot help producers do all these great things that they want to do. And you know, nobody don't give money now.
They give to the feds.
Yeah.
A lot of
You
to
get-
the feds. No, what? I
Oh,
wish.
I know saying, I used to only get like biscuits and things for Nikki and me don't get no cash.
I don't even get the
Oh,
biscuits.
you don't get no biscuit?
I
All
don't get
right.
no
I
biscuit.
think about this, what I think too is we have to have a certain amount of respect for the craft. And I think we don't see Rowley in a play. You don't see these government ministers.
Anil came the other day to ours.
Yeah, because
Yes.
our play was called Naughty Minister.
Right.
So
He was
thought we
there.
write about him.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, if these fellas that the head don't respect, I think the arts is our next oil in this country.
Agreed,
And I really-
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And if they would
Just
just
our people, period. If they invest in our people, it's our biggest asset in this country. Our people, our pan players, our dancers, our actors, our everybody in terms of our people. And they're not investing in the people. They're investing in the big buildings, as Simmy said, the huge buildings are looking
Pretty buildings, and
Yes.
we can't nobody to put inside them.
I always say that we lack people with vision. I always say that. And I don't know when it's going to happen, when it's going to eventually turn over and start.
That's why we have to do it.
Exactly.
We can't wait on
Exactly.
Rowley
we
and
have a
them.
place that's still banning dildos and camouflage. I don't know where.
And
Hello,
Kush.
we have
I
a
mean-
long way to go.
Yeah, boy.
Ladies are sorry. I
Really?
mean, it's Trinidad. No, Nikki was.
I'm very sad
I
about
feel,
it.
I feel those eyes pierce right
This
into my heart.
microphone looking like
Very
a
emotional
moment.
for all three of us.
No, okay, we could stay here all night and talk
I
and
know,
chat
huh?
and everything, but I want to kick it over to the audience just before we go downstairs because, you know, we have a whole entertainment and everything. So any questions at all? My boy, Priest.
Priest, amen.
Whoa, father.
You want a mic? Mark. Priest? Is priest he say?
Priest, yes.
Not
Maxi
pastor.
Not
priest?
pastor.
He,
Not
no,
Maxi
he
priest
look
either.
mini priest. All right.
Right.
Hi, priest.
My question, hello, Nikki, love your work, love all of your work. I see you a lot on Facebook, see me.
Yeah.
Right? I don't really know you that well, but I see you working very hard, right? My question is this. I've been to a lot of seminars, I've been to a lot of forums, and we always say we have to do the work, right? What, in your opinion, as the leaders in this industry right now, can we do from today, right now, tonight, that would affect some sort of change in the industry?
We're going to make a baby tonight, right? And
Join me
Why
on
my
Murray
wife not here?
Street.
Why my wife not here? Two,
and
yes.
your name is Priest? Hello. Simi, you want to kick off?
I really think we do need to work as a collaborative effort as a team. We have to work as a team. The backbiting and the kalang, that attitude needs to stop if we want it to work for our country to reach to a different level in terms of talent. And what I'm saying is, like, in instances like, I would really like to give a warm round of applause to ThriveIn for what they're doing.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep.
Ethan, thank you.
Because the networking, there a lot of people say your network is your net worth. And I think that is a very critical thing. You need to network with others who can support your business, because we have a lot of struggling artists. I ask my artist friends to help me with things. I can't afford their rates sometimes, so I might throw in a little Woodford, a little Murray Street session, as part compensation. No. But seriously, like, I
So
can't
they
do.
go owe you when you're done with that?
Yeah, boy. The thing does really go scrap. But when I need music support, I've been networking. A lot of people look at me on social media and they think, oh, she's just cracking jokes. They don't realize I am networking. Anybody who knows me knows I have problems with insomnia. So like all 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the night, I am up looking at your profiles to see what you do and how well
Cue
you
creepy
do
music.
it.
She's a stalker kind of.
I am that kind of person. And if I see talent, and I have a couple people that I've noticed, I've never met them in real life, but I love their work. And like Shari Petty, I love her work. So I am always up in her inbox like, hey, I love your work. So whenever these opportunities may come your way to network with people whose work you see, you like, you enjoy, you have to get on board as a team. Try to work with them. Bartering works for me. I don't know how many of y'all know about this old school system.
I barter all the time.
But I am not just a comedian, I am a corporate communications background person. So I will do a press kit for an artist. So I love some people, I need to get music production done. I will do press kits for your artists. Help me. Use what you can, work together, and that's how we could probably move it forward. Yeah?
I think, we have to embrace our children and let them explore their talents.
Definitely.
Tonight, ask the child what artistic endeavor they want to approach. Ask them and support them. That could happen tonight. I think that all these corporate businesses should allot some of their finances to not pan and calypso only, because we are not about soca and pan. There are a lot of singers who could do spoken word. We have so much things. Try and allot some money for that part of the arts. I think those are the changes. I think that the governments and the ministers and all of them take another look at the arts and the artists that we have here and see how many of our local people out there making it, and we are the financial breakthrough this country would need to move ahead in this place we call Trinidad. I think those are some of the things that we could do now.
Definitely,
to make it happen.
Yeah, Carib.
Carib County Sport Support FET.
Yeah.
The Carib County Support and Fernandez County Support was that. We need support. If I don't ever notice, only one play company doing plays right now. And that's Richard Raghav Singh and Ricardo. One. We used to have baggers. We used to have us, ha ha ha. We used to have all kind of Raymond Chukong. We used to have
Well, actually, those are two producers who joined after a while.
So our
sad.
industry is going down. The amount of cost you pay for newspaper ads to advertise your play. These are some of the things, if you really want the arts to move, people out there, you all know.
They could even reduce the rates on Napa and Zappa, with all due respect.
All of that.
No, it's be like Expresses and Guardian and all of them are like part of the production company because many times they get the majority of the money.
Exactly, and you can't even get a little press release in the papers.
And it's just, I get upset. I'm very passionate about this, Mark, because I think it's greed running this country. Pure stinking greed.
Agreed.
Right? A lot of the companies we're thinking of, they're packing away their millions every single year and keeping it all. And the problem we have in Trinidad right now and all the crime, and can you imagine if people invested in our youths? A pan man, they had to go and stick up somebody because he not getting no work. The pan man ain't getting no work. Can you imagine being a dancer in this country? Can you imagine being a dancer in this country?
Dance is
Hell
horrible.
no.
I feel so sorry for the dance.
You just have to hope you get a little, that Marshall call you carnival and you get a little wine and walk. That's what dancers are in this country. And it is
Marshall,
disgusting.
call me.
I'm disgusted by it. So for me personally, it's just more than a night work. I know what you're talking about. What can we do now? But for me, we really need to be louder and we need to shout to government and And I'm very passionate about stinking corporate Trinidad because they stink. Many of them holding on to, because as a children producer, as a child producer of children shows, and so I go and I get blank and I tell myself, well, you're serious about crime and thing in this country and all, you don't want to put a stinking dollar.
They want to invest. They
into positive things.
Exactly, they need to invest in our youth as Trinidad is going to just keep crumbling and crumbling. Right? We got the same one that you should have invested. One is the same one that go hold me up tonight. Yeah? And
True.
that is why I'm so passionate about it, because we and the ones with the money seeing it going on and they're not doing anything about it. Yeah, I always post about crime in this country. You know what I mean? Because let's not pretend. I had a gun to my head. Right? A little boy touched me up with a gun to my head in front of my husband, right? A 15-year-old. And then 6 months after, he killed a man. So the 15-year-old that had a gun to my head, he in jail now for murder, right? That's what you're dealing with. And then but the thing with the beat him was youths. Was two little young boys trying to stone my car. So it's youths, and we having a problem with the youths, and everybody just putting a plaster on it, hoping it go away. And it's not going away.
Paint it white.
Because I see a lot of young people, they want to do the little reggae, they want to do the dancehall music, and everybody keeping them back. Everybody keeping them. Nobody wants soca, nobody can do that. You know, let them sing whatever they want to sing. Let them dance whatever they want. Just invest in them. Make them understand that you supporting them, and you see how we have a real turnaround in this country. If we just invest and embrace our children and their talents.
On that note, anybody watching out there, if you're a dancer, singer, a performer, check us, check Ethan, check Thrive. We have a space for you all to come and showcase, definitely.
Definitely keep showcasing.
We could take one more question because, I mean, we have to go on rest of the night. Yeah, I mean, they will still be here for a little while, I mean. I think Simmy going to do a little showcase. You know, I mean, maybe.
Nice,
I mean,
nice.
might, yeah. So one more question before we go, or, yeah, okay, yeah.
I guess, good night.
Good night.
I'm Shumba.
Hi, Shumba.
It's not really so much a question, but just kind of on the same topic. I mean, when it comes to like the youths, I guess generally like they need to provide more opportunities, more spaces for you to go showcase your talents and get opportunities to do bigger things, right? But I mean, beyond that too, I think like as creatives, like something that we need to focus on to be a bit more valued by, let's say, corporate or just in just general society, because Trinidadians don't really value entertainers as much unless you're to the sky already.
If you're bungee, you're Marshall.
You gotta get
So
through to
I
get
think
through.
like to help people see that value is like we need to keep quality of production on a certain level. Like really think about it when you're putting out a production, and also when it comes to sorry, I lost my train of thought. Right.
My husband has had a problem too.
But he old.
And also it's like your PR also, you know, the way you brand yourself and
All
that
those
is
are
important.
extremely
because
important.
there's the love and you love doing it and you're so
That's one
passionate about
aspect,
it.
but
There's the business aspect. And the way you present yourself is the way people would see, and if they value you. Like if you watch a artist that upcoming in America and you look at the way they put themselves out the front, they're making people believe, well, hey, you need to pay to get a part of this, you know? So
Totally
That's
agree,
that.
though.
Good.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Again, we were talking about the packaging and how we package ourselves and how we see ourselves. You know, for me, I have always seen myself on the big stage. I'm saying like, oh, Trinidad too small for me. I need to be out there and I need to do this. And I had the kind of passion of that. And then over the years, you kind of said, look, let me just settle in Trinidad. The people know me. I could get a little walk carnival time are good. And then, but there's still that burning, there's that burning that you need to go out there and you need to do your thing. And this is what I want to spread to everybody. Don't stop doing your thing. You know, do your thing and market yourself. And as I say, now there's social media. When I was coming out and trying to make my contacts in LA and say there was no social media, there was nothing. You had to go out there and do your thing in front of people. And so now you have a lot more opportunities. And I mean, now they have degrees in social media. You know, it's something that we can't lapse and take for granted. There are people studying social media. I mean, my first degree is in business and marketing, and I feel so lost now. I wouldn't even know what to do in terms of marketing because the game has changed so much. And I think that's where we all have to learn. How can we better market ourselves through this thing called social media and spread it out for everybody to know who we are?
And I want to issue a challenge before we wrap up to everyone in the audience, because we're talking about how we're marketing ourselves. A lot of us want to see the industry change. You may not have the funds at your disposal right now because a lot of us are struggling artists. But I realize that a lot of young people want to see change. We can talk about the government and corporate as much, but they take notice of when something goes viral. Liking a post or liking something is not enough. Share it on your wall, tag your friends. Share your friend's work. When you see your friend has a music video, share it. Hey, my friend has a music video, check it out. My friend has a concert coming out, check it out. And you have the power now with your 2, 3 friends that you might have. I don't know how many everybody have in their friends list, but you can tag them. And you can encourage and you can be that catalyst to help the industry forward as well, using the social media appropriately to market yourself as well as your friends, and encourage them to come out to Christians Can Laugh to La Romaine this Saturday. And hey, I have no shame.
And no shame. Advertise it free and on Facebook.
I think Tristan just wanted to ask one quick thing before you go.
Tristan.
Hi, good night, everyone. This is not really a question, but really adding to the conversation about what we can do to support the arts and develop the industry in Trinidad and Tobago. For those of you who are watching on Facebook and who don't know, there's currently an initiative by the Ministry of Community Development, Culture and the Arts to put culture and the arts at the center of national development. Right now, they have a draft policy on culture and the arts that is available on their website, and I encourage all artists, everyone who supports the arts to go to the ministry's website.
Is this serious? Because I've heard this years now. I've heard every government coming. So, okay, culture, we're going to make it, and then
come
nothing
and
happens.
Tell us how we can change what we will not be changing.
I think that artists have to be part of that conversation and don't think that it's not going to change, so we're not going to participate. So
that's good. Ministry of Culture website.
Yeah, I don't know where it is, but check them on Facebook.
All right, we're going to find it. We're going to find it. I'm going to tell you if it's working or not.
All right.
Tag me in it.
All right, thanks very much, Tristan. All right, so we want to just wrap up. We want to just thank our panel, obviously, for that amazing, like an hour and like 10-minute session.
Wow.
It was very informative. I got a lot because I'm also in the film industry as well, so I'm trying to break into it as well too.
No, I was like shocked. We have a nice little crowd.
Yeah, I love it.
Guys.
I love it. So, I mean, any last words? If you guys want to like shout out your Instagram, your Facebook, or anything in at all, just quick.
Simmy, ready?
Simmy, yeah.
All right, so you're gonna look for Simmy The Trini on Facebook and across all social media platforms, and you can look for the Hold Your Mic Challenge at High Mic on all social media channels. I also want you all to start looking at the artists that we have, the comedians, because some of them are going to be here tonight. So Carlin George, C. George is on. Yeah. Carlin is here tonight. Kylie P is here tonight.
Who?
Kylie P.
Who?
Mikhail Alexander. His stage name is Kylie P.
Kylie P.
All right. So look for the comedians, and especially if you see them performing downstairs, you enjoy their work, please do support the social media movement. And Christians Can Laugh too. Saturday.
Plug it, yes.
Right. And Kixie, September 20th with Kevin Sawyer. And October we have Kwame Weeks. And November we have Javel Junior Lilimo. So you all look out for the Kixie series. Thank you all.
Nice. All right, a round of applause again for our panel, everyone. Amazing.
I just want to
Penelope?
talk about my.
Sure.
I have a basic.
I mean, I rush in. Sorry, let me sit down.
Sorry, I have a basic acting course coming up at Necessary Arts. Look for me on Facebook, Penelope Spencer, for kids and for teenagers and also for adults. So basic acting course, come out and enhance yourself. We talk, and actors and performers out there, your packaging is important. Watch how you hold yourself, watch how you speak, watch how you profess this art that you love. Understand packages is important. Nobody taking it serious if you not taking yourself serious. So that's what.
Yeah.
Yes, Nikki.
Penelope Spencer.
Penelope.
All right, so what's coming up for me? New play, The Biggest Marco. It's happening September 8th. Of course, everyone can find me. Yeah, it's The Biggest Marco. And of course, Instagram and stuff. My message is to really nurture our youths, you know. I'm so passionate about them because, you know, we work with young people and we see their passion, and then they kind of hit a concrete wall. And I just kind of want us to break up that wall and let them be free and do what they say. You know, I always say, you know what it is to be like an 18-year-old soca singer right now? It must be so depressing just to get in that market and to get your name heard. And, you know, but don't give up. Don't give up if you're really passionate about something. It's like your right hand, you know. If you cut it off, you go dead kind of thing. So just go after all your dreams and don't let the wall stop you. Sometimes you just kind of walk around the wall or dig under the wall, but just don't give up on your dreams. All right? So thank you. I just really want to thank people who came out this evening because we appreciate your time and we really appreciate that you all wanted to hear what we had to say. So we thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, yes, let's go. All right, amazing. Thank you so much, panel. So now let's just go downstairs and let's just chill for a little while. We have an amazing performer. We have Daniela downstairs. So yeah, let's go lime on the other side now.
The real world, you can be here and promote your music everywhere with a digital marketing solution from iEnt.com. Get professional promotion for your music through social media marketing, email marketing, digital PR, and more. You also get the tools to successfully market your new single or album all in one package. For more information, call or WhatsApp 482-6067 or log on to iENTT.com.